Okay, this is our Aaiden Turns 2 video, and we're doing this every year for both the boys so that they have a series to look back on, and of course we always say they can look and watch us age, since they probably won't remember what Mom and Dad looked like in their younger years. Okay.
Right.
Okay, so go ahead.
So obviously when Asher was born, we remember stuff. He was our first. When Aaiden was born, I mean, do you remember that day?
Yes, I do, because it was he was born the day after my birthday, so I really wanted him to be born on my birthday, and that was 3 weeks early, so I knew that wasn't going to happen, but I secretly wished and hoped to be able to give my birthday to him. And you had taken me out to Chateau Brasserie, this local bistro-ish kind of place, and I remember eating my dessert, my lavender-infused souffle, and thinking, oh, it didn't happen. But you know, I was a little sad, but we, still happy it was my birthday. We had a great birthday, and I went to bed, and at 3 o'clock in the morning, I went up to go to the bathroom, and I discovered my water breaking. And I mean, it was adrenaline rush, and it was 3 o'clock in the morning. We had to call your mom to come over to stay with Asher. I could feel the contractions, so I panicked. So yeah, I remember the labor. It was very similar to Asher's in some respect, but this time, since he was only 3 weeks early, I actually got to hold him. So I just remember being so emotional, and just tears covering his face, and he was just a prince. He was so beautiful, and I was so happy.
Yeah, I remember obviously the same thing. I remember it being a little different, a little less sort of dramatic, because you'd been through this once. But I remember his birth. It wasn't as I don't know, it was a little more calm.
Yeah.
And I do remember my most vivid memory was just holding him. He wasn't screaming. He was quiet, and he was asleep. And I remember that being much different than Asher's arrival.
So that said, what do you think Aiden's gift is to our family? Who is he to you, or who has he become in these 2 years? And what does he bring to us?
He, as you said it a minute ago, he's a prince. He is this part of our family that can go to everybody, from Annabelle to Asher to Baker to you to. And he's this loving little boy, quiet and sweet, and I think he does that. He's kind of that missing kind of that part, that he wants to be right with you in your lap, and sorry, I've got allergies, so.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, he is that prince, and his personality. It's so interesting for me to have gone through this the second time. Of course, not having been able to imagine anything different than Asher, but then getting Aaiden, and him being so different from Asher in so many ways. I mean, they look alike, their profile. I look at pictures, and sometimes I can't tell them apart. But their little hearts are so different in so many ways, and I never thought that anybody could be more attached to me than Asher, but I always joke and say, I think he thinks that we're conjoined, because he wants to be right up underneath me. And at the same time, I mean, when he's got a little temper on him too. When he's mad, he is just mad. He just runs off into a corner, and he'll throw a little, glance off to the side to his shoulder to see if you're watching him, because
and see if you're going to pursue him.
Inside, he wants that. He wants you to want him. And it'll be interesting to see how that trait, how we see that grow in the next few years, to see if he's going to continue to be, you know, a little passive aggressive. But he's unbelievable.
Yeah.
He's made us all whole in a very different way. So
Yeah, it's going to be fun to see how he and Asher grow up together, because they're so close and they're always together, and he's sort of Asher's partner, and not so much the other way. He follows Asher and wants to be with Asher.
wants to dress like Asher, wants to play with the toys Asher is playing with,
Yeah.
wants to play soccer with Asher, wants to do everything that Asher is doing. Okay, so last question. In his second year, what are your hopes for him this next year, in the next 12 months?
Wow, so many things. I hope he's potty trained.
Oh, yes.
Definitely potty trained. I don't know. That's a tough question for 2 years old. I think there's so many things out there. I think we need to expose him to everything that we can at this age. He soaks up everything. I think he's at that age where he's ready to learn so much more than we understand.
Yeah, this is a really powerful age, and I think at every dimension, socially, intellectually, spiritually, I think his little being is forming. And so I think, I want to nourish every part of him. This is probably his last year that he'll remember, Baker growing up with him under the same roof. So I hope, the two of them get some good memories.
Yeah.
I want him to be able to hold on to that. That's it.
Yeah, that's enough.
Okay, anything else?
No.
Okay.
It ends quickly.
Happy birthday, Aaiden. Mommy and Daddy love you.